My buddy Chris Gillen came in and had an electronics guy put in TVs, and I remember being like, that, like, you don't hook up your own TV, like, just, and then now we have a TV guy, and it's the best.
Too.
Oh, it's the greatest. He was like, how big do you want me to go? I was like, you're the expert. And so he put that ridiculous.
But then he takes care of all of your speakers and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And then you get one remote, and one remote takes care of everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I love him. Put a TV outside so we can hang and watch TV in the pool.
No, I have to get your guy, because I've had 3 different companies and they all have messed it up.
Oh, my guy's great.
Sunday, it's amazing.
My guy was through DIY Networks.
Okay.
So he was awesome.
Yeah.
You live right around here, don't you?
We're a mile and a quarter away from each other.
So my wife got in bed with me this morning and she goes, what are you guys going to talk about on your podcast? I go, why? And she goes, well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I can help. I go, really? She goes, I'm a really great interviewer. She has her own podcast now. So I said, okay, what's the first question? And she goes, I'm so glad you asked. Ask him if he's a part of the the Mississippi Mafia.
Mississippi Mafia.
Do you know there was a group of guys from Mississippi that used to hang out in Hollywood?
Now, does she mean Missouri?
I don't know. Is it Missouri?
I'm from Missouri.
Yeah. But
I love that she thinks I'm a Southerner instead. I'd kind of heard of the Missouri Mafia, but I don't know who the Mississippi Mafia is.
Oh, that was like, I guess there were a group of guys. One guy's name was Tate Taylor. He directed The Help, I think.
Okay.
But they would organize these big events.
Wow, I kind of wish I was part of that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad she's not doing the fucking interview.
Right? All it means is I would have gotten more work.
What was...
Is it over?
No, I don't know. I think they're...
You and I should get part of it.
I know, dude. I tried to... when I started my first corporation, when I got my first paycheck, I started a corporation, and my dad's a lawyer, so I sent all the work to him, and I was like, can you file this for me? He's like, yeah. And he was like... these names are fucking ridiculous for your company.
Because you gave him a list.
Yeah. And first one was giving out spankings.
Nice.
Next one was the Tampa Entertainment Mafia.
All right.
And he just calls back and he goes, why don't you just call it Don't Be an Asshole Inc.? And that's what he titled it. Don't Be an Asshole
awesome.
Inc. Yeah. And so that was my first company.
That's awesome. I changed mine to mine's Nice One Productions, and I wish I would have gone with my first instinct was Great Big Balls Productions.
Great Big Ball.
But We Give Spankings is perfect.
Well, that was the name of my band in college, Giving Out Spankings.
Nice.
You went to school where did you go to school?
I went to school 2 places. I went to Benedictine College in Atchison, Kansas for 2 years because I had to. My parents are very, very Catholic.
Really?
And yes. So the only way I could go to college, your first 2 years had to be spent at Benedictine, which is a Catholic institution.
Yeah.
And then you could go wherever you wanted. So I went there for 2 years, and then I went to the University of Missouri for a year and change.
Did you have Catholic guilt growing up?
Oh, it's guilt and shame.
I have it really bad. Like, I still have it.
You can get past it, though.
I don't know how to get... Like, I used to have a problem... Like, when I lost my virginity, I was a fucking mess. Sure. I could not rebound. Like, and I literally was like, all right, I'm going to have to... I can't deal with this fucking guilt. Yeah. I'm gonna not have sex with someone until I know I'm in love. Right. And then even then, I dated a girl and didn't have sex with her my senior year. Wow. And yeah, because I was like, I want to, but the repercussions.
Are you talking about hell?
Yeah, dude. Because I was legit Catholic growing up.
Yeah, I get you. I was there and I wanted it, but then toward, senior year, I'm like, okay, this is kind of tiring. Actually, in 6th grade, I started questioning it because that's when you start learning about ancient Greek or ancient history, and the Greeks and the Romans had these gods that they all believed in. Yeah. I'm like, well, wait a minute. They really thought those things existed. Yeah. So what makes that different than what this current construct is? Yeah. So, I mean, look, hey, if you dig religion and it really helps your life, great. But what I have seen in terms of religion, the first way they're organized is to marginalize and control women. And then it's to gain more power and capital. And after you get power and capital, then they try to gain property. And that results in constant war, which we still are in. Yeah. And I would say, I forget how many conflicts there are throughout the world. I think there are 32 active conflicts in the world, and I would hazard a guess that at least 30 of those are based in religion. Now, they might use religion as an excuse for other people to, increase their power base, but that causes war.
Yeah.
They're not about the deity. And I'm not talking about any person that's related to the religion. For instance, the Christ, right?
Yeah.
Real person came with one message. Let's spread love. I don't think that guy ever thought, man, I'm going to leave you guys a plan to make some sweet coin. Right? Mm-hmm. That's not his design. In fact, he came in and saw people changing money in the temple. What's he do? Puts his foot on it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I don't have opinions, is what you're going to find out.
Well, I'm fascinated by, I'm always fascinated by people that aren't designed for Hollywood.
Okay.
Like, and I feel like I feel like I'm definitely one of those people.
Right.
Like I almost, anytime I run into someone from Tampa or from Florida that got into the entertainment, not Miami, but like, you know, like, oh, I grew up in Orlando. You're like, oh, how did you get out?
Right.
And I feel like I know your story because I remember running into you in Aspen in like a long time ago. I've been a fan of yours since T-Bone.
Oh, wow.
So like, and just first coming out to LA, probably in like 2001, 2002, going around clubs and seeing you and being like, oh, this is fucking awesome. But then I was like, wait, how did you get from
Tipton?
Yeah. To there?
Well, I was a poli-sci major. So I'm in Tipton, Missouri. It's a town of 2,000 people in central Missouri. And I can tell you a couple things. When I was 10, I distinctly remember walking around the west side of my house by myself thinking, I got to get out of here. Not because I was rejecting it. It was just like I knew that I had to have something else.
Yeah.
I needed a greater exchange of curiosity and ideas.
At 10?
Yeah. I just knew, like, hey, I got a lot of questions about the world, and I have a lot of thoughts and ideas, and I'm not quite getting it right here.
Wait, are you the youngest?
I'm the third of six.
Third of six?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
The Catholic.
Yes, very Catholic. Well, I mean, my grade school, we went to church every morning.
Really?
Yes.
You know what I've been doing on stage, just as a lark sometimes? The first time I went to church at school in 9th grade, they sang the Our Father, which I had never heard, but I enjoyed it.
Which one? Which version?
Our Father who art in heaven.
Okay. Because the other version,
what's that?
I would say the hippie version from the 60s or 70s, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
No,
thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You don't know that version?
No.
So you know the older one.
I knew the older one, and I have been singing it on stage.
Of course.
And getting everyone to join in.
At the very top.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so, but why did I just fucking switch subjects?
Because I was Catholic, had to go to school every day.
Oh, church. You say
Yes.
church every day.
Church
yeah.
every day. And so, you get burned out after a while. It's like kids that are forced to do, 3 sports early, and you see it all the time.
Yeah.
Parents running their kids from, well, we got baseball at 1. I know we've got soccer at 3, and we're probably going to make the basketball game at 6. You're like, what are you doing? Because these kids they're gonna quit in high school. If you think you're grooming your prodigy to get that scholarship, if he gets that scholarship, he's gonna quit.
Yeah.
Because he's finally gonna be like, they're not here anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so very Catholic. Had to go all the time. Then I was there in Tipton. At 10, I walked around, thought I had to do something. At 13, I had this. I know it's going to sound corny, but it's true. I kind of had this moment of awakening, standing by the tree at the end of our property during a sunset, and I thought, I have to go do something. Didn't know what it was, but I felt like I was getting a vocational calling. All right?
Really?
Yes.
Did you grow up like in a neighborhood or out in like
We grew up in town.
Okay.
But I mean, you say neighborhood, you're thinking there's no suburbs in Tipton. There aren't curbs. There's no curb in the town. So there's sidewalks. Anyway, I had that feeling like I need to go. I have a destiny. All right. So I wasn't sure what it was. I kind of wanted to be an actor, but this is pre-internet. You had no idea how a person might become an actor. Who am I going to ask? Plus, you talk about shame. I'm in Tipton. What if I started telling people I'm going to be an actor? What would have been the reaction? Well, you can't do that. Don't you get big on yourself? You know, that kind of thing. It would not have been accepted as, I love that you have dreams. It would have been pummeled out of you, like, don't think that way. You're not better than everybody else. You know, that kind of idea.
It's amazing how much the world has changed. Just in what you said, like, where you go, how do you become that? Like, when I wanted to be a comedian, I was like, I guess I'll just move my entire body to New York. Like, I don't have any other idea of how to do that.
Yeah.
Other than, I know there are comedy clubs in New York, so I'll just move to New York.
That's smart.
But like, yeah, but even still, I was like, and then what do you do from there?
Right.
Like, now that you have the internet, you can literally go, or you can listen to a podcast and go, oh, work the door at the Boston Comedy Club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was a poli-sci major instead, because I focused my energies on what I thought was my mission to help people. Now, little did I know that really wasn't what politics is all about.
Yeah.
So I went into poli-sci, and about the third year, I started realizing, I'm never going to be senator. Because I started thinking, okay, so the way into politics is you're from a political family, or you're well-moneyed, or you are the smartest person in any room you walk into. That'll get you wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
But I was none of those things, and I was like, I kind of lost my heart for it, because you're either going to become a lawyer or a teacher. And I thought, God, neither one of those things interests me.
Yeah.
So I quit going to my classes. And I went home after I was academically ineligible. I told my dad, and I thought, boy, he's just going to ream me out. But he said, well, Dave, I don't know what you want to do, but I don't think you want to go to school. Now, you don't know Cecil Koechner. He's passed. That's the best Cecil anyone has ever done. So I bought the car I was driving from him, and for $400, gave me a deal on let's see, what year was that? Was that let's see, I'll bet that was a 75 Plymouth Grand Fury that I was driving. And so I bought that and worked 3 jobs. And then a buddy and I went up to Chicago, because I'd read about the Second City at this point. I'd read about SNL. And
Did you read Wired?
Yes, of course.
I read Wired.
Right.
That's, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I read Wired and Backstage at Saturday Night Live. Uh-huh. And I saw, all these people went to Second City. So a buddy and I went and visited a friend up in Chicago, then went to the show at Second City, and I was blown away. And then on the way down the steps, I saw they teach classes. And I had a matchbook and a golf pencil, because you'd fill out, a mailing list thing. And I was surreptitiously writing down the phone number for classes, because I still was carrying around shame, like someone was going to tap me on the shoulder going, why are you writing that number down?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? So then I went back and I saved a lot of money, not a lot of money,
Went back to Missouri?
Went back to Missouri, and then I was working 3 jobs, and then I went up for a 2-week concentrated course at the Players Workshop, and I'm like, this is it. So then I went back again, saved up more money, and moved to Chicago the next year.
Really?
But then I wasn't that. I moved there when I was 24.
I started when I was 26.
Yeah. But as it turned out, it was the best thing that happened. Had I moved there at 18, I would have missed what I eventually became part of, which was an amazing confluence of talent that came through in the years that I was there. So when I was there, it was Chris Farley, Mike Myers, Tim Meadows, Steve Colbert, Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Matt Besser, Matt Walsh, Ian Roberts, Horatio Sands, I'm missing someone else, but all the UCB people that started UCB, all the same era.
Holy shit.
There's like 10 or 12 guys that that write on Conan and Seth and Colbert, and Fallon. A bunch of those writers were all there at that time. John Glazer by chance has had a bunch of great shows. Yeah. Anyway, amazing group of people that I would have missed had I started earlier at 18.
So you walked in and they're all taking classes? Or?
Yeah. So at various points, like some people had been on stage and some people were just in classes. Farley and I were in the same classes together.
Wait. I can't believe I didn't know that. I'm hearing this for the first time. I was a huge Farley fan.
How can you not be? He was pure comedy.
Really? So what was he like? Like, when you met him, what was he like?
He's more humble than you can imagine.
Really?
Yeah. He would always be so deferential. If you're talking to him, he'll look up at you like, yeah. That thing he would do, the Chris Farley show? Yeah. That's what Chris is like. There was a nervous energy and a pleasing energy, and really humble, and always looking at you like, hey, remember when we did that scene together? That was fun, right? Yeah. Hey, I'm an idiot. That's who he really was. But, as far as commitment and just a pure force of comedy, nobody was better than Farley. It was just when you're coming up, you start comparing, not in a bad way, but am I keeping up with the peers that I really want to be peers with?
Yeah.
People that are really good. Do I feel like I'm among their ability? And so, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm doing it at the same level. Farley, I took out of that mean a long time ago because they're like, okay, that's an outlier. He's way beyond the talent scope of what I'm capable of, and most of these people are capable of. It's a different realm.
Wow. So what was that? Did anyone have any idea of what was happening at that moment?
I don't think so. You couldn't really go, oh my God, all these people are going to make it. Because I would go to Second City and see a lot of talented people, and then they'd go out to Hollywood, and then you'd never hear of them again.
For real?
Yes.
So there were people there were people also in your classes that didn't succeed?
Oh, yeah.
Because, it seems like such a large group of successful people.
Right.
I remember when I started, I was with Dimitri Martin, who's a stand-up comedian.
Sure.
Very funny. And I remember one night we were walking to the cellar, and he was saying something about Dave Attell writing on Ray, and that they knew each other before. And we had this epiphany. So if you just don't quit, your friends will get famous and they'll help you out. And we were like, I can do that. Like, I can just not quit.
Yeah.
But that's an overwhelming class of talent.
Yes, it was crazy. McKay, I don't know if you know.
I know
there's so many names.
I know Adam McKay only through name, but he's one of those people that always kind of fascinated me because he seemed like the gasoline for the fire.
Yes, well, and beyond. I always say McKay's mind is so immense and white hot that it has its own gravitational pull. Literally, if you're in the room, like you talk about a guy that's always the smartest guy in any room he walks into, that's McKay.
Really?
He's just incredibly bright. And you're like, how did you get all of this information? He could elocute on anything. He knows facts about everything. You're like, oh, fuck, I'm not that person. That's fine. I'll make goofy faces. I can do that. You know?
Holy shit. That really is. So at what point did you go, part of me is like overwhelmed because I think I can't imagine being friends with all those people.
Right.
Like do you still, how close are your friendships with everyone?
Well, as you know, I assume that you tend to, as you become an adult, you're friends with the people that you go to school with.
Yeah.
Your kids go to school with.
Yeah.
There's a large group of Chicago guys that are my closest friends out here that are not necessarily household names. They're very talented, but in varying degrees of success.
Yeah.
So that aren't the big guys. So all right, let's take the names we know. Will and Steve live out here.
Steve Carell.
Now, they're very busy. Our kids don't go to the same school, and that's just the way it goes. Will lives over in Hollywood or up in the hills. He's gone 6 months out of the year.
Shooting movies.
Yeah. So I'll see Will and Steve once, twice a year, something like that. But everyone has this idea, not you, but a lot of people out there have this idea that we're all just constantly hanging out together.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. Or that we all have secret underground tunnels. Like, hey, you guys want to meet in the tunnel in the main room?
Yeah.
But
sadly, I think that anyone that any comedy fans of mine or think Bert and Segura and Ari and Joe are hanging out all the time, and sadly enough, we are. We're at the store every fucking night with each other, and so part of you is like, yeah. So I think that's so. I think that's so overwhelming. I knew you had gone. I knew you had worked with Del Close, and I knew that was he was the guy that created improv, right?
Well, he's the one that developed long form improv as we know it today. which is beyond game improv and little tricks.
Yeah.
And then he expanded the idea and the notion, and that allowed it to then take on what it is now, a whole universe of different forms and formats and expression. But his whole thing was truth in comedy. Be honest on stage; it'll never fail you.
I love truth and I love truth in comedy when you say something like there was a young kid last night on stage who his joke wasn't that good, but his improv at the end was, "Give me my coat." And I said, told him that line makes me know that it really happened. Like I love when you give a line in the thing where you go, "Oh, that had to have really happened."
Right.
Yeah, I love truth in comedy.
Look on it. Member. There's Missouri coming out. Not remember. Member. Richard Pryor's first special, Live and Smoking.
Yeah.
And he's just up there telling the truth, and you get chills, and the audience is quiet, but he doesn't quit.
Yeah.
And he just stands there and delivers. He talks about giving head to people. He talks about his mother's a prostitute and being beaten. It's fascinating.
He said he had a joke one time that stays with me all the time, and I think about nonstop is, when I was a kid, you had to have two things: get a ringworm and be able to fuck a dog.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
Wow.
I was like, wait, what? Richard Pryor is fucking insane. So then how soon do you start seeing your classmates go out to SNL?
Let's see. Mike Myers was the first of our group. And like that, Mike was, he came from Canada, so he wasn't necessarily hanging out with the rest of us. He was very focused.
Really?
So yeah, he didn't hang out and drink.
Really?
Oh yeah, he made a smarter decision. Yeah, I could have moved up my success timeline probably by 4 years if that bottle wasn't in the room. Yeah.
I wonder what would have happened to my career if I had never drank.
Oh, absolutely.
I look at like Dane and Daniel Tosh and Chris D'Elia, and they've never touched alcohol. But part of me goes, I don't know what I would be talking about on stage.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's the life we chose.
Yeah, it's
or it chose us.
Yeah. And then, Mike took off, and then where were you in the? You were before.
So Mike Myers is the first one. Like I have personally been on stage with that person. That's the first person I had come into contact with where I felt a tiny bit of ownership.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my guys. Although, it wasn't. But then Farley was one of our guys. That was for sure.
That must have been insane to witness.
Yes. It was my buddy Pat Finn's wedding down in Springfield, Illinois. And it was Chris's debut. It was September, and like 27th, 28th. And Chris was going to be on that night. And so a bunch of us left the reception and went up and watched Saturday Night Live just to see what Chris was going to do. Oh. And he only had one tiny thing. He played like a midget who was mute. And that was, and that was it. And we're like, all right, well, Chris was on. So that was that. Then we all went back to the wedding. That was sure an energy suck. So the 20 loudest people in the room just left. But so that was that. And then who went next? I think Tim Meadows, and then Bob Odenkirk, and then who else went? Let's see. Can't quite remember. Oh, then Colbert, Sedaris, and Danilo and Mitch Rouse all went out to New York to do Strangers with Candy. And then it might have been me of that group that went next. And then Carell popped on Bruce Almighty. And then what else? Then Tina and Amy. And then all the UCB people, Matt Walsh, Matt Besser, Ian Roberts, Amy Poehler, all moved out to New York and created the first UCB theater.
Yeah.
And they did their show on Comedy Central. And then, Andy Richter then became sidekick on Conan. And Brian McCann came out to write for it, as did John Glazer and Tommy Blocka. And then Brian Stack came out to write with it about the same time I got SNL. And then like that, after that was Tina and Amy. And then McKay came out with me and Tom Giannis to work on Saturday Night Live, and then Horatio Sands got it, and then Rachel Dratch got it. So that's how that all went. You know, it's just kind of one after another. People started getting jobs in show business.
What was your experience with SNL?
Oh, I had a great first. I had 1 year only, but I had a great year. I was very naive.
How old were you?
I was 30.
Yeah.
So I was old enough to know better, but not savvy enough. Like we were talking about, the original thing was like not a Hollywood guy. I didn't get how the game was played.
Oh.
Right. So I got out there and expected, everyone's going to write for you.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it works. You gotta build alliances and have people write for you. And then you've got the job of the writer is like, I got to get on the air. They don't care who gets them on the air. It's like, someone's got to get me on the air.
Yeah.
And so I would be probably less welcoming to ideas that I thought were not well enough inspired, which is not a smart idea.
Yeah.
I would talk openly about my politics. And some of those writers I found out were very conservative. So they were like, nope, not you. And then you'd see there were camps and like, okay, so people wouldn't write for the other camp.
Really?
I'm still a nice guy. And all I'm thinking is, we're an ensemble. We should spread this around. And I couldn't understand why the powers that be didn't ensure that every one of their wrestlers got over.
Yeah.
In wrestling, they look for everyone to get over.
Yeah.
Nope. They just throw you and go, who's gonna make it out? Climb out of the pit. It is literally Lord of the Flies.
Really?
Now, I didn't recognize it. I thought, well, talent will just prevail at the end of the day. And I had a great season. I had like 4 or 5 recurring characters, and I did political impressions. Didn't cross my mind that they wouldn't renew my contract. But I'd pissed off a writer. I'd called one writer a hack, and he had some power on the show. I'm not going to tell you his name. He knows who he is. And then another writer told that writer I said that, like childishness, like, hey, man, why don't you just come to me and go, hey, dude, that's my fucking friend. Now you go, whatever. And I, someone could have had some real conversation, go, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have said that, blah, blah, blah. But I think that person made it his whatever. It was his, like, why am I losing this word I want? That's the alcohol that we drank too much of. To get me off the show.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. But it was West Coast that had power, because there's the first year, a whole new cast except for Norm Macdonald, David Spade, and Timmy Meadows. And West Coast had more power because it was the first year Mad TV, and Howard had a late night show, Stern. And so that was the first time there was competition late night.
Oh, really?
And so the ratings dropped a little bit, which allowed NBC to come in and go, here's the changes we want made. And so Lorne couldn't protect all his pawns. He wanted to keep me, but they wanted to get rid of me, Mark McKinney, and Nancy Walls-Carell. And I know Laura wanted to keep me, but I figured he could only protect one pawn, and it was McKinney who just had a job, and he had a relationship with him for a long time from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
So, and like that, I'd been a little reluctant. They came to me 3 times and said, how about a Gerald talk show? And I would say, that's what's wrong with this show. There's too many of these talk shows. Let's do sketches.
Yeah.
That's what this show's about, sketches. Now, they asked. They weren't asking. They weren't asking.
I love it.
But I missed it. I was like, oh, no, that's a bad idea. I was like, no, they're not asking you, Dave.
Yeah.
The question is really what they're telling you to do. And I just couldn't wrap my head around what Gerald would do at a talk show. It would have worked.
I went into a Travel Channel meeting, and they said, what do you want to do? And I said, not what I'm doing now.
Right.
And that was the end of my show.
Yeah. But you're being honest.
I was like, yeah. I told my therapist, I was like, I don't know what to say because I don't want to ride roller coasters anymore. Oh. And he was like, well, tell them that. And I was like, I don't know if that's what you're supposed to say. Well, I didn't realize the answer should be whatever you'd like me to do.
Whatever you guys want.
Yeah.
Still going. Let's do it.
I'm glad it happened the way it did, but that's I've gone into a lot of meetings where I said, even at my agency, like where I go in and I sit down and I go, I'll tell you what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
As opposed to going, here's whatever you want. Right. I just want to work.
Yeah. I just want to work.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that was that. But then I moved out to LA. I was very fortunate that I'd made enough of an impact that I got a holding deal right away.
Really?
Lauren said, Dave, you're on the radar. You're an artist. Don't change that. So also the message was, we don't need art on this show.
Yeah.
So don't quit trying to bring it. But I got that from Dell, right? You're an artist. Be that. Comedy's important.
You're one of the few people, there's a handful of people I'd say that I have been at a party and I've watched. Like Mitch Hedberg's definitely one of them.
Oh, wow.
Mitch Hedberg, I was at a party Mitch Hedberg was at, and I just kept like, I it's just almost like fascinating, like the way he's carrying himself. And when we were in Aspen, I wish I remembered the year, but I remember there was like a I think it was probably a Comedy Central party. I think I was with Daniel Tosh, and you walked in, and you just had, there was only a couple people, and then not to blow smoke up your ass, only a couple people where I saw that really the energy of the room became the energy they had. You just, you're a big guy. You and Will Smith, when he walks in a room, everyone's like, what the fuck? And you walked in, and I was like, whoa. And I hadn't even seen you perform yet. And I was like, wait, who's that? And they're like, oh, you don't know who that is? Oh, have you seen? And I was like, and then I think the next night I saw you guys perform.
The trucker, right? Yeah. We had a good run there.
It was great.
Yeah, we were the late night show, and everyone came.
That was really great.
Those were good shows.
Yeah. And so what, did you move from New York back out to LA?
Yep, right away. I mean, I got to go now. I could have, put my tail between the legs and gone back to Chicago, but I couldn't go to Chicago.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, so LA was the place to go. I'd already had, my job. I always thought to myself, I'll leave Chicago when work takes me. Because I'd seen people go without work, and it's like, that's it. That's the last you hear of them.
Yeah.
Some of them.
I remember people in New York saying, don't move to LA. Like, they were like, when I first got my first deal, I came out to LA. I stayed in Century City, by the way, and I was like, "This is the best place in the." I was in Century City, right, where they shot Die Hard at the Takamimi building or whatever, and I was like, "This is good." The weather was amazing, and I called my dad. I was like, "I'm moving here." I was in Century. Now in recollection, I'm like, I don't even like that part of town,
right?
But I was like, I'm moving here, and I remember comics, and now these comics have gone on to do nothing of note,
right?
Right. Being like, dude, whatever you do, don't move to LA. Do not do it. You'll go out there and you'll just die out there. Stay in New York, be a New York comic. And moving out to LA was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah, that's where show business is.
Yeah.
I'm sure you meet them too. Where do you live? LA. And they go, oh. Why do you think that is? I have a theory.
I don't know. What's your theory?
They're afraid of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's where successful people are. Because when you think of what it takes to go to LA and make it, you have to have a steel trap, a decision that is unrelenting. Like, I'm here. It's going to happen. I don't care.
Yeah.
I am a 3-sided pyramid, and I am impenetrable, and I will make it. I will succeed. In my mind, it's a mindset, and it's not a bad one. And ambition is not a dirty word. If you look it up, it's not a dirty word. And you can be ambitious and never hurt another person.
Yeah.
They all assume everyone's out here stepping all over everybody else. I've never done that. It's happened, but I don't care.
Yeah.
You've never stepped on anyone.
No.
It's like, hey, here's the thing I know. There's only one person in front of me that's keeping me from larger success, and that is me.
Yeah.
You look at other actors or comics or whatever, like, oh, I should have had that job. I was up for that, but he got it. So what?
Yeah.
The thing I know is every day in Hollywood, there's a new commercial, there's a new TV show, there's a new movie being cast every single day. So the starting line begins in the morning when you get up.
I was in a room with some executives where they were talking openly about needing a female comedian, and I had thrown out a couple options, but they were really talking amongst themselves.
Yes, you were.
And part of me was like, I could name a bunch of people, but I thought to myself, so there's someone sitting on their couch right now thinking maybe it'll never happen for me. And then these people are going, I need someone to make it happen for. And I was like, wow, if they could just connect the two. Dane Cook said it the best one time. I went over to his house. 2 days we were playing the guitar together. 2 days we went over like Tuesday, and he was down in the dumps. He was like, I don't know, I don't even know what I'm going to do in this business, like that. And the next day I came over and he goes, I got a movie in China. He's like, that's what I love about this business.
Wow.
It's like a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of America looks at LA, and I think they take the people like Amy Schumer, who lives in New York, by the way, but like they take the celebrities who have opinions,
right,
and they They go, oh, that's what I think they don't have a fair representation of how there's also just really creative people wanting to do stuff.
Yes. Plenty of those.
Yeah.
Plenty of those. I mean, the battle is don't get bitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the real battle. But I think when people have this negative opinion of LA, they've never been here, never worked here. I mean, I would say some of our greatest friendships are all showbiz people.
Yeah.
That's who we hang out with.
Yeah.
Those are our peers. They're all wonderful people. Sure, every once in a while you run across a wounded soul that can't help themselves. And the way they operate in life is misery.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, some of them are successful and they spread misery, they live misery. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I feel bad for you. That's a choice. And that's one you've made, and I don't have to hang out with you.
Yeah,
but
on the flip side, living out here is absolutely beautiful.
It's the best.
The weather's always perfect. You
Yes.
can always go for a hike. You can go to the beach. You can go.
That's exactly what I say.
Every time I go to the beach, I was out at Newport Beach, Manhattan Beach the other day shooting something, and I thought, I called my wife. I go, why don't we live down here? Like, this is gorgeous. I mean, it's brisk. It's like 65. The sun's out. It's just, and there's nothing but beautiful people around. I was like, why aren't we down here?
Yeah, it's too far from show business.
Yeah, well, it's real close to the airport, though.
There you go. There you go.
I started thinking, like, maybe when I have a busy month, one month, we'll get a house down there for the month.
Oh, that would be the goal. So make enough money where you get a place down there. Although if you've looked, it's insanely
expensive.
I'm talking 4 blocks from the beach is now $4 million for a house smaller than the one you're living in.
I know.
And that's not to suggest it's small.
No.
We both have nice houses.
Yeah.
But, there's a certain modesty compared to what else is right here in town. But, yeah, a 3-bedroom there is $4 million. 4 blocks from the beach.
It's insane how expensive that area is.
You think what I want is one on the beach. Well, that's not going to happen. I mean, you shouldn't ever say I can't have that dream.
Yeah.
But to me, it's foolhardy.
Yeah.
Because the ones on the beach must be $15 million minimum.
Oh, yeah. And they're usually they are owned by someone who rents them out. They're not, and they're just an income property.
Or they're corporations.
Yeah.
Or it's venture capital money. That's apparently what's moving in there now.
Really?
Yeah. It's all, different money. But whatever. I mean, you got to think about it. Your taxes are $150,000 a year, if not $200,000.
Yeah.
So let's say you're able to buy it cash. You're still going to have to come up with $200K a year just for your taxes.
We're so fucked right now in this house because we pay nothing for it. We got it at the bottom of the market in
What year did you buy?
2008, 2009.
Nice. Oh, wow. After the crash.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And we went in and we put 20% down. And then even when we refinanced or whatever to add on to the house, our mortgage is next to nothing.
Right.
And it's really hard because in my head, I go, I want the big house. One time I want the big house. One time I want to treat myself and get the big house.
Yeah.
But let me turn this off.
Unless it's important. I mean,
No, it's not important.
It's one of the guys that you really enjoy.
No.
Listen, I'll wait.
But then the other part of me goes, I'm very financial. I don't wake up worrying about money at all.
Right.
And at this rate, meaning like, even if my career could pretty much fizzle and I would never worry about money again.
Right.
Because we don't owe that much.
Right. Plus you've already built your business.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can make solid money for the rest of my life.
Yes.
If I just don't get like manslaughter, something really bad that would fucking change. Everyone's like, wow, he drank and drove and killed a person.
Yep.
He's not fun anymore.
Nope. I can't go support that.
Yeah.
Do you think of all the things that people will support? Yeah. And then, I'm not going to get into politics, but yeah.
So when did you meet your wife out here or in New York?
I met her in the airport in Kansas City. Yeah, she'd been living out here for 4 years, and I had just moved out here 6 months prior, and we both gone back to the Midwest for Christmas, and we happened to both be on the same flight leaving MCI, which is the Kansas City airport, and on the same flight, same airline, obviously, blah, blah. And her brother recognized me, and he starts talking to me. He's way overly familiar. He's like, Dave, why are you going to LA? And I'm looking at the guy going, how do I know him?
Yeah.
And halfway through that, I was like, oh, I don't know him. Okay. There's a very attractive woman next to him. And so we're chatting for a while. Then I sit down and she plops down beside me, hands me her business card and said, my brother. And I'm like, oh, brother. Said, I don't have a celebrity coming to my New Year's Eve party. You should come. And I said, well, I'll come to your New Year's Eve party, but you still won't have a celebrity. This was a long time ago, folks. So anyway, she and I start talking. She's from a family of 6 kids. I'm from a family of 6 kids, Irish Catholic, all that whole business. And so it's just such an easy conversation. I was like, wow. And she told me it didn't bother her that I'd had a stroke. And I know, my lip goes down when I
had a stroke?
No, I've never had one. I said, well, that's very kind, but I have not had a stroke. That's my wife, though.
He said it didn't bother you that you had a stroke.
Yeah. You would love her. Oh. Yeah. But, so, that went on. That was easy. And then it was Vanguard, which is like Southwest, no seat assignments. And they had saved me a seat. I was literally the last person on the plane. And I was like, do I want to sit with people that know me from TV? But the woman was very attractive. And so we sat there, and she and I are flirting right away the whole flight. And halfway through the flight, Pat, who's in the middle, goes, because Lee was being very quiet, very demure. And it was not like her.
Yeah.
And Pat was just puzzled. It's like, oh, my God. He goes, David, are you attracted to my sister? And if you knew Pat, you'd know he would say this. Yeah. Are you attracted to my sister? Because I think, Lee, you've met your match. I think, Dave, you're going to be around for a long time. Now, I thought, I put my hand, this is 1997, so you could still touch a woman and not, it might be creepy. I think I touched her knee and said, what do you think? And she says to this day, that in that moment, she was thinking, I know he's going to be around a long time because that guy's going to be my husband.
Really?
Now, I'm a guy. All I'm thinking is, I hope one day I get to hold her hand.
Yeah.
That might be a metaphor.
Yeah.
But so we moved seats. I sat right beside her, which is worse because now you got to turn all the way left and then it hurts your neck. But so she gave me a ride home. I was living in the Hollywood Hills, and I was joking, we're probably going to eat there, we're going to eat there. And she's thinking, I know, because we're going to get married.
Yeah.
And I think I kissed her on the hand that night. And then I went to her New Year's Eve party, whatever it was, 3 or 4 days later. Now, being a typical guy, I went to 2 other parties before that. Because, being a guy, you're thinking, I know I've got, a fish on the line. Yeah. So let me see if there's something that's better before I get there.
Crab pots are filled in deep water.
Nice. I hadn't heard that. That's an old fisherman's term, huh? Anyway, so I went over and we had a nice time. And so I think I sent flowers a day or 2 later. And here's the funny part. She'd forgotten my name. And so she told all the girls at the office. This was before the New Year's Eve party. I think I called her the next day. And she'd forgotten my name, and she'd told all the girls at the place where she worked, which was a post-production house. And so I called, and the receptionist puts her hand over the phone. And she's like, Lee, airplane's on the phone. That was
airplane.
Airplane. So anyway, she got my name.
Airplane's
on the phone. But so I could say that she and I have been together literally since the moment we met.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So then we were dating, and then we got engaged 9 months after we were dating, and then we got married 9 months after that. So.
Oh, so that's a quick.
Yeah, but I was older and I was done. I was like,
How old were you guys when you met? 32?
33. I was 33. She had just turned 30, I think. It was turning 30.
My wife was 30. I was 29 when I met my wife. Uh-huh. And she was 31.
Uh-huh. Which is about, to me, the right age.
Yeah, I was done.
Yes.
I was like, I'm in.
Yes.
I remember thinking I would like to get her pregnant first just to make sure we can have kids.
Oh my God.
And then I'll marry her.
That's funny.
Like, I remember thinking, because you're in your head, you're like, all our friends were having a hard time getting pregnant. And I was like, well, shit, I've never gotten anyone pregnant. And then I said to her, have you ever gotten pregnant? She's like, no. And I was like, oh, we should test the waters.
Yeah, I see. I believe that's all a panic that's created.
Yeah.
There can't be this widespread infertility. It really boils down to when the mind is ready, the body will respond. The body knows. Yeah. And so oftentimes I believe a woman might be thinking, I don't really want to leave what I've got going right now and change my life, because that's a big change for a woman. It's like it'll never be the same. You won't ever have the freedom you have today if you're pregnant. Once you have that baby, they need mama first.
But my wife changed everything in her life when she got pregnant.
Yeah.
Like a full flip. Like, successful screenwriter, had a deal at Showtime at the time, and then got her pregnant, and it was like, all right, let's focus on your career. I was making $700 a week on the road.
Wow!
But I had TV shows, so I'd had success. So there was a reason to believe in me.
There was a possibility.
There was a possibility, but I was making $700 on the road. Had Georgia, and a month before we had Georgia, my business manager called and he was like, "You're in debt. You owe like 30, 40 grand to taxes." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Yeah, you don't have any money." And I went broke. Called my dad in the middle of the night. I was like, I'm broke and I'm having a kid. And my dad started laughing hysterically. He goes, now you know what it feels like to be a man. And hung up.
Oh, is that right? That's awesome.
Hung up on me. And I was like, what? And he called back and he was still laughing. And he goes,
awesome.
This is what I felt like your entire childhood. And he was like, he was so excited for me. He was like, don't worry. I'll help you out. I'm not going to let you starve. I'm not going to let you have a baby and not be able to provide for it. But he's like, but you need to work. Mm-hmm. And then I got on the road. I featured on the road that entire year and then started headlining that entire year. I headlined a little bit before, but that was like, I think that was the real, before that I was just like a hangout Hollywood guy, like, go on auditions, go out drinking, didn't really have a focus. Mm-hmm. I'd do spots when I felt like it, but I was like, oh, I'll just wait till the next thing. I booked the next thing. And then once I had kids, I was like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah. I don't know if this happened to you, but it's been my experience. And I'd heard this, babies bring money.
I think so.
It happened every time for me. I'd always book up, there'd be a big job right around the time the baby came.
Oh, I might actually get Leanne pregnant one more time then.
Do you have two?
I got two, yeah.
They're both two girls?
Two girls.
Yeah.
And today was like a little bit of an epiphany of like what life is going to be like, because I woke up lately if I go out and party, I wake up really early and
the sugar
I guess so. Yeah. And so I'm like, last night we were at the store, I had a few drinks and I got high and I was perfectly high, and I came home and everyone's asleep. I'm sitting in the lazy boy and I was like, woke up at like 4 and
the lazy boy,
and go back to get in my bed and I hear my daughter up and I'm like, it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I go, what's going on? She's like, I'm making myself breakfast, making my lunch. And I was like, she's in 8th grade, and I was like, really? She goes, yeah, you want to hang out with me while I do it? And I was like you're a human. And then I sat there, and we talked, and it was so bizarre. Like, she just caught up with me, and like,
is she 12?
She's 13.
Wow, and still talking. That's great.
She was
a lot of people think the girl changes at 13 automatically. It's usually, and it depends. I don't know where they go, what kind of school she goes to.
They go to public school.
Okay.
But she's going to private school next year.
Okay.
And
yeah. But it's after, in my experience, it was sophomore year when it's changed.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Like, don't talk to me.
She was talking about girls in her class that are kissing boys.
Oh, boy.
And she was talking about, she's got a couple bisexual guy friends and girlfriends. And she said today, she goes, oh, what can you say, Dad? I'm straight. And I went, in my head, I was like, crazy. In my head, I was like, thank God. But I also was like, you can be whatever you want to be.
It doesn't matter.
But I was like, oh, Jesus, thank God I didn't have to have that conversation this morning. Right. Like, I'm bisexual. And I'm like, let me brew the coffee.
It was just matter of fact.
Oh, yeah. And so, but it was really great. And then I drove her to school and we had a great talk in the school. Like, it was really like a great time. Then I come home for the other one, and the other one's a fucking bear. She's a bear. She gives me nicknames. I don't like getting nicknames. I like being called Dad, but they don't call me Dad. What were they calling me last night? Old Big B.
Old Big B.
Old Big B. And I was like, and so, yeah, it's how old are yours?
Charlie's 19, Margot's 16, Sergeant and Audrey are 11, and then Eve is 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what was it like to get back into the mix with the 7-year-old?
You mean this week?
No, like no meaning like.
Oh, I see. After
you did pre-K and kindergarten and drop off up to 5th grade.
Yeah.
And then you have to start all over again and do it.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're less interested in meeting dads.
Yeah. bet.
But I give me a whole new bit.
Yeah.
Too, because I do this whole thing. I don't know what your act is like, but mine's all family.
Oh, it's all family.
I get 5 kids. What am I going to do?
Dude.
You know? That's what my life is now.
Yeah.
And I haven't done a special, so I'm going to do one this year just to get rid of all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then start over. I'm going to do a one-man show next, not just stand-up, just a one-man show.
I got to be honest with you. I've been thinking, I have a bunch of material about Travel Channel that does not connect with audiences. It's just a little alienating, but it is interesting.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about doing a one-man show for that.
Yeah.
And just producing it myself and releasing it myself online and letting people enjoy it. But then working on the stuff right now, my big bit I have is my daughter's, Isla got her period, and she threw herself a period party.
Wow.
And so that's been the bit where I'm like, well, you definitely in the middle of the country. There are people like, what the fuck goes on in LA?
Yeah, that's why they think Hollywood's weird.
Yeah,
it's so funny because I have a bit about Margot going through a change.
Yeah,
but it's also a great bit, and boy has a different change.
Yeah,
I finally got something. Everyone get in here.
Yeah,
but yes, you can't help it. Like that's how your life is informed.
Yeah,
these things happen, and most of it's true.
Oh yeah, that's the one, and the one thing I like about when you talk about your family is that it's inclusive.
Yeah,
I think it makes young people go, oh, so getting older is not bad. Yeah, it's fun. It can still be fun and cool, and it makes all the parents go, yeah, we're not losers. No, just because we had kids. Who are your friends? Who are your friends? Are they what age kid did you guys team up with your friends?
Well, the thing is, I kept all my old Chicago buddies that live here, and we all go to the same school.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that's my crew that we spend every holiday together, so by and large, that's that group.
Yeah.
But it would be, let's see, it's my oldest daughter, and then also some of the 6th grade dads too, and wives and husbands. And then now we've got Eve, who's in 1st grade. So
you're starting all over.
I know.
Again. Oh my God, I don't know if I could do that.
You don't have a choice. There it is.
I remember being in.
But there's a lot of cool people in her grade too, which is good.
You get like those young. I remember in 5th grade, me and my buddy were sitting out and we're like, yo, the kindergarten moms look hot this year, huh? Because the kindergarten moms are like brand new.
Still young.
They're brand new.
Yep.
I don't know if I could have a kindergartner and not be like looking at my wife going, I got the 07. I paid for it in cash.
Yeah. But you already made that investment, so that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah. That's crazy. So then when did movies start blowing up for you?
Let's see.
And I got to ask you about Anchorman.
Sure. I was very fortunate in that right away I started doing smaller parts of movies, which was good.
You just fit into them so well, and you stole scenes so well.
Oh, thank you.
Like I always wanted to say, like, I've always been terrified to lose my hair, like, and I've always used Rogaine.
Sure.
But the fact that you embraced it the way you did was like, it's almost like my wife with aging. She just doesn't. She's like, I'm not gonna get fucking work done.
Right.
This is what I look like. I'm ready to grow up. And part of me was like, oh, you just cornered the market in like, I'm a fucking regular guy.
Oh, well, I didn't have a choice. I was bald. Now, Lauren asked me when I first got SNL, Dave, it's up to you. Do you want to have hair? Do not have hair? Something to think about. Now you'll be introduced to America for the first time, so you need to decide. And they went through the list of people that have plugs and wigs, and I'm not going to say their names, but he told me of all these people. I'm like, wow, really? And the plugs then were awful.
Oh, yeah.
They would take 8 strands, and literally that's why they looked like plugs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Plus, I just spent 9 years in Chicago. I'm going to start wearing a hairpiece? Those guys would crucify me.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, who are you? And then my whole family, I got 36 first cousins on my dad's side. How am I going to live with myself going, I've decided to be a fake person? That's what you think. No, it's not fake. It's a business decision. But I didn't look at it that way. So I said, whatever. I think to this day, I might be the only person on SNL that was bald. Maybe that was the problem. But it makes some of the wig stuff easier. You don't have to. Yeah. But I don't ever think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's the way that went. So what?
I find that, I cared. I'm thinking about, I talked to my agent about it. I was like, I'm thinking about offering Rogaine, the opportunity to let me show what their product does.
Yeah.
Because I still have hair.
Yeah.
But go stop using Rogaine altogether and let it all fall out for like $5 million.
Oh, okay.
And just be like, my name is Bert Kreischer, and I've used Rogaine my whole life. This is what I have. This is what happens when you stop using Rogaine. And just spike the sales of everyone going, every 20-year-old kid will be like, fuck, I'm on Rogaine.
Yeah,
I'm keeping this shit.
Yeah.
But
but it's true. You can keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hold on to it with Rogaine.
Is your dad bald or your mom?
Oh, bald.
See, that's why that whole, fifth grade biology thing is like, it's your mother's side. My grandfather on my mother's side, full head of hair at 67.
Really?
So what am I? My dad was bald at 25.
Really?
And so was I.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was supposed to come from the mother's side.
Yeah, they said mother's side. My mom's dad was cue ball bald.
Okay.
Like didn't have a lick of hair.
Yeah.
I should be bald by now.
Right.
I definitely should be bald. I shouldn't have any hair.
Right.
But
it's your choice. Yeah. I told my boy, my oldest boy, because he's a little worried about it. I said, son, if you think you're going bald and you don't want to be, there's plenty of ways to change it. It's interesting now to see fewer bald guys at shows.
yeah.
When you look in the audience, and by rights, half of them should be bald.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're not. So that's my bit of going out into the audience is going talking to bald guys. Yeah. Do you go out in the audience?
No.
Yeah. I just Dana Gould told me when I first started doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Find a reason to go out in the audience. You're on TV. They'll love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just that corny reason to go out there.
I find I get a kick out of doing crowd work in that it'll really help me write bits. Like it'll, like if I'm working on a bit, if I include the people in the front row and kind of work them into it, sometimes their answers will be funnier than anything I could have thought of. And I will and my riff off their answers will be big, and then I'll go, okay, well that's the new bit.
There you go. Thanks.
It's like leaning heavily on them. So what was the first? Like, one thing I asked Adam Carolla was like, when was the first time you were scared when you're like, fuck, how's money gonna work? Did you ever have that fear?
I don't think so. Well, see, here's the thing. I started working for my dad when I was 7.
Yeah.
So I've always worked.
Really?
Yeah, he had a livestock transfer. He built livestock trailers for turkeys. So we were not in the turkey business. We built livestock. He was a manufacturer. So I'm there in Tiffin, Missouri, at a manufacturing plant. I started working for him when I was 7. So to me, it's always just work. I've never been unemployed.
It's more of a mentality.
Yeah, just work.
Yeah.
And that's why I started doing stand-up in 2010. Work had slowed down a little bit, and jobs I would normally get A-list stars were taking. It's like, why are you taking my job? And then I realized, they have 3 houses, and the housing the market crash of 08 didn't affect Hollywood for 2 years. And so things started slowing down here, and I saw these people taking my jobs, and I thought they probably have 3 houses they had to pay for. So they're taking this, third person role, not the lead. I'm like, wow. Okay. Then I asked my agent, can you get me on the road? And she came up with 11 gigs the next day. Now, they didn't start. They weren't 3 months out.
Yeah.
So then I just workshop stuff here in town. And my first hour was more like a one-man show. I had 5 changes on stage. I was doing all these different characters.
Oh, really?
And people in the comedy club, people were like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is going on? Because it was a completely different rhythm from stand-up.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm now changing into a character costume. I did that for at least 2 years. Yeah, it was crazy.
I love that, though. The early iterations of stand-up of people going with the real freedom, like genuine freedom to do whatever you want when you're young, when you're brand new to it and you're seeing it with fresh eyes, as opposed to there is this homogenization that happens when you've been doing it for now 5-7 years. You start streamlining into what everyone else is doing because it just doesn't bump. It seems to work easier.
Yep.
It seems to get it, and then you got to get to a place where you start going, oh, fuck it, I do my own thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to match the audience's expectation of what the experience is going to be. And
the expectation of what you would bring to a show would be so high, it might be nerve-wracking for me.
Nothing's going to nerve-wrack you. But to me, it's still...
Like the first time you went on the road.
Yes. Oh, that was, I was like, well, here we go. Here we go. Well, here's the thing. When I first went on the road, I brought a guitar player, and a buddy of mine was my feature, and he brought a drum, and we closed with 3 of the old trucker songs.
Yeah.
So I knew I had my close.
Yeah.
And that was a full 13 to 15 minutes. So I knew I could get out.
Yeah.
And then my 2 buddies, I knew if I took a dirt, then we'll just rewrite something and make it work. But
so
it was
crazy. Yeah. So you got a closer. You can talk about your family.
Yeah.
I mean, in my head, I'm like, you could easily do 20 minutes of question and answer.
Oh yes. You
could literally in a pinch, you could be like, does anyone have any questions? Oh, okay. Like I said the other day, I was trying to go all new for the hour I did, and I looked at the watch. I was like, I got 15 minutes left, and I was like, I don't want to go into something that they might have heard that is old. And I said, what do you guys want to hear? And they were like, Flying Dildos, The Machine. And I was like, I'll tell them both back to back. And everyone was like, thank you so much. So
they came for the hits.
I think with storytelling is a little different than stand-up. Storytelling, they want to hear the things I think they enjoy hearing the story again. I think they bring friends for the story. And as long as you're invested in it, and I'm still invested, and I just won't tell the parts I'm not invested in.
Okay.
Because I go, I don't really enjoy that.
Right.
But and I don't mind telling the machine story. But you could easily do.
I've never done that, but I still have to do whammies and lines from The Office, which is fine.
Such a big. What do you like better, television or movies?
Well, movies, but they're not in town anymore. Yeah. So television works. Although I've noticed everyone goes, what's your next movie? I'm like, oh, I've been doing television the last 2 years, so there's no movies. There's a couple independents out there that, by the way, in June, Bernard and Huey drops on video on demand. Anyway, it's an independent one. So, it's a thinking man's comedy. It's not really a comedy, but it's fun. So watch it. But I don't have any big movies because you're working 9 months out of the year doing television. You don't have time, and then you want to spend time with your family, the other whatever period, and or go on the road, which is what I'm doing this summer. I'm just doing 6 cities in a row. That's the tough thing, as you know, about being gone from your family. The wife's kind of like, all right, how much more longer is this going? That's enough.
I've gotten that. I got that. I looked at my calendar the other day and I was like, wow, I have 3 weeks off. I was like, that seems odd. And I texted someone and they were like, oh yeah, your wife canceled a week. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, she was like,
wow.
But my wife does it because of, I think because of my health. Because I go pretty hard on the road still.
Oh, okay.
And so, and sometimes it can get away from me. Like you go in and do press on Thursday, and if it's a big market with a big radio show, you go in and they're like, hey, we brought in the party this morning. And then I always I love morning drinking.
Yeah.
So I'll have a few cocktails, and then you go to lunch with the club, have a cocktail at lunch, go
Healthy
take a nap.
buzz, yeah.
And then you come in, and if you're doing Thursday and Friday press, get the fuck out. And so Leanne will be like, She's like, I don't think you have a drinking problem, but I'm worried about your health. And that's the only thing she ever worries about. So the only reason I don't drink when I'm home is so that she knows that I'm being healthy.
That's good.
I'll drink tonight at the store. I'll definitely drink tonight at the store.
All right.
So what tours, what cities are you hitting this summer?
I just did Tampa.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you? Oh, you went into Cowhead.
No.
Or Mike Calta.
What's that?
It's the radio.
Oh, but yes.
Yeah, Mike Calta. Yes. I saw you in Mike Calta. No.
Oh, a different one.
No, did you go to Bubba?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
No, you went into Mike Calta.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Mike Calta. He's one of my buddies. I've known him forever.
Yes, I remember seeing the big sign behind him. Yes.
He's a really good interviewer.
Yeah, all of them were.
There's some really great interviewers out there. You ever do DC?
Yes.
Do you ever do Elliot in the Morning?
I'm sure I have.
Oh, he's all my friends in radio are all great interviewers, but I saw you go in there. How did you like Tampa?
It was great.
Yeah.
Ybor, right?
Ebor.
Yeah. It was fun. It's it was raining a little bit, so that's kind of a drag. But otherwise, it was great. We had great shows.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a good club there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then what other cities you hit in the summer?
Let's see, I did St. Louis, Tampa. What's next? Kansas City, then New York. Then I'd go shoot for a week in Atlanta. And then I go to Columbus and then come back. I'm taking my wife for 2 weeks to Italy for our 20-year anniversary.
Really?
Then I'm going to do Philly.
Oh, are you doing, let me guess.
The Helium.
Helium.
Yeah.
That's a great club. And what are you shooting in Atlanta?
Dana Gould has a show called Stand Against Evil, and I did it last year.
It's such a great show.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing it this year.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but I'm gone a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, I want to tell my wife, like, do you realize here I'm going 3 weeks solid? Like, I'm not coming home here. So when I go to New York, then I'm gone for a full 2.5 weeks. Yeah. And you know what? The other day I missed Audrey's science fair. So the twins' 6th grade science fair.
Yeah.
And, I'd helped her do it and develop it and all that stuff. And then you don't realize, it's Sunday night, so I don't come home till Monday. And she was like, Dad's not going to be here for the science fair? Oof. And I got a late flight just because I'm like, I can sleep in, not realizing I probably could have, because if you're already on the East Coast, you can make it back.
You can make it back by 10 in the morning.
Yes, if you catch that early flight. But I didn't realize it, and now it's already there, and I'm like,
Do you have any regrets as a dad?
You can't. Well, I didn't. If you didn't spend enough time,
I feel like I sometimes go, it's over. Like
I know.
Like I go, wait, they're not babies anymore.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I missed it somehow, and I know I didn't. I know I was here. I mean, I taught them to ride their bikes. Those are the only things I ever really, really, really did great as a dad. I taught them both how to swim, and I taught them both how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Isla was the best. I taught George how to ride a bike in a park, and Isla was like, I don't want the park. I want the road.
Wow.
And so I was like, okay, we'll do it in our street. And I got her going on her bike the first time.
Wow.
And she got right up, came back, and she was like, I think I got it. And so I got her going the second time, and she ran into a BMW.
Yeah, that's the tough thing. You're like, to the car.
Ran into a BMW. Do you remember Chris Elliott's show, where he was, Chris Elliott's show where he lived with his parents?
Yeah, and he rode a bike.
He in the credits, the bike hit the car.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened with her.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. So I would love to talk to you a little bit about Anchorman.
Sure.
What time do you got to get out of here?
I don't know. Let me think. I've got something.
We've done an hour. We'll do.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're fine. I don't have anything until you guys you'll edit all of this down later.
This is the best part.
Yeah. What do I have here? I got a recording at 2.
Yeah.
So I have to leave here by 1.
Yeah, we'll do 20 more minutes.
Right.
So tell me about Anchorman. Did you know it was going to be what it was going to be?
I thought it would, but it wasn't right away. So, when you're shooting the movie, so it's Adam McKay, who I've known since 91, and Will, and I'd known Steve since, probably before that. Just met Paul, wonderful guy. We're all having such a great time, and it's so good.
Now, when you get, do you hear about the movie first? Does Will call you up and go, "We got a thing"?
Not on that one. I mean, I had to audition because this is before Will had hit big. Now, he was big on SNL, but, movies, they're like, wait, you have producers, and there's a way this goes, and you guys are both new. You don't get to make the choices. The money makes the choice.
Yeah.
So I had to audition. I auditioned for 2 parts. I think I auditioned for Champ and Brian Fantana. And so then it was down like, oh, no, we're going to, try to get you for Champ. And so Adam and Will did not say, here's who we want, because they knew how it worked. Had they said, we want this guy, they definitely would not have picked me. That's
Really?
just human psychology.
Yeah.
So they put the tapes in, I guess it was me and 3 other guys, and the producer's like watching, he goes, why not that guy? And they were like, yes. So they called me and said, you got it. We can't tell you for real, but your agent's going to call you in a minute. But you got it. We're so happy, blah, blah. But I knew those guys, so I think, the only thing I had is I understood what they were after.
Yeah. Like you knew the character.
I understood what their sensibility was.
Yeah.
And like I could wear those shoes easy.
How close was your audition to Champ to what we saw?
I think pretty close.
Yeah.
I think I dressed up. I think I wore a wig.
Really?
Didn't wear a cowboy hat. I think I wore a wig and put on some sideburns or something like that.
So when you go in audition, you go full tilt.
For that one, because it was a 70s thing. So I wanted to look the part.
Yeah.
So, they don't have to imagine too much.
That's interesting. Yeah. I one time I wore an outfit for an audition. I was a maintenance man, and I wore a maintenance man's outfit, and the audition was with the guy he had just done something big, and he had a big deal at Fox. He was the guy from Home Alone, one of the Wet Bandits.
Oh, I don't know which one that is. Home Alone. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not Joe Pesci.
Daniel Stern?
Daniel Stern.
Okay.
And I did the audition with him.
Uh-huh.
And when I walked in, he went, "Oh, you put on the outfit." And I as soon as he said that, I regretted it, and I was like, "I'll never do that again."
Well, that was kind of it.
Yeah,
but don't say that.
Yeah, I was like,
"Hey, man, it's been a long time since you have auditioned, huh, guy?" Yeah. Like, no, I have to make my target, which is the money.
Yeah.
Do the least amount of imagination.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that guy doing that.
So when you go in, you audition, you get it. Are you like I can't imagine if one of my friends had a movie.
Yeah.
How up their ass I'd be about it.
Well, I was over the moon. I mean, they're friends, so I didn't feel like I needed to do whatever. I thought, yeah, we're peers. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's have fun. So yeah, I got it, and then it was less money than I thought it was going to be, but I was still happy about doing it. And then when we're filming it, all of us were thinking the same things. All of us had gone home to our wives after the first week and said, "I'm not keeping up. Everybody else is so good." It was me, Paul, and Steve were in this, there's a 3-banger. They have trailers, folks, that sometimes you have your own and sometimes you're sharing with 3 other people. They're 25 feet long, but there's 3 different dressing rooms in that one. It's called a 3-banger. And so that's what we were in, but we were all sitting in each other's rooms. And I remember one day we were all talking and we'd all had the same conversation with our wives of, "I'm not keeping up. Everybody is so good."
Really?
Yeah. And then after about halfway through the movie, I remember thinking, this is so good, I don't want to talk about it. It's kind of like watching a no-hitter.
Yeah.
And you're kind of whispering like, this is really uncommonly good, right? Right? But because some of the stuff was so funny, you're just laughing your nuts off.
Now, how much improv do you do on a set like that?
Oh, that's all you. It's part of it. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
So you're going to shoot the scene 3 times. Once you've got it, then it's like McKay would say, "Let's let the squirrel out of the bag, and now let's improvise." So that's going to be part of the process. So you're improvising every scene. A lot of times you're just looking to replace a line or two. So you're not wildly going off script and creating new plot lines. You can't.
I'm pregnant.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to stay on point. So you're just looking to replace a line or two. Maybe you got an alt.
Yeah.
But you'll never beat McKay's alts, because I would hand him a couple of ideas and I'm like, "Oh, that's good." And then he'd immediately rattle off 4 that are 10 times better. And you're like, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I thought I had something about, replacing a kidney. Like one of my lines I thought was really good. Like, I just got back from Thailand. I went to a veterinary hospital where we replaced a kidney or something like that.
Yeah.
No, liver. And it's my 3rd time, whatever. But whatever McKay came up with was more economical and funny.
Yeah.
But so yes, you're going to, part of the process is you'll shoot it 3 times, but then you will improvise. And you might get something new, or maybe you won't. From the first movie, I Shit a Squirrel was new.
Yeah.
Because the original line was, "I woke up in a Japanese family's rec room, and they would not stop screaming." Now that's on several of the DVDs, and I noticed when I would do the lines, like, the one that made it in the movie was, "I woke up this morning and I shit a squirrel." Yeah. Hell of it is, the damn thing's still alive. And then later Carell goes, "I think I ate your chocolate squirrel," because he's listening. Yeah. So amazing. But I noticed when I do that line about the Japanese family's rec room, that was the PG version. Most people in the audience had watched the one where you shit a squirrel.
Yeah.
So you figure out which lines you're going to do for the audience, like 3 or 4, and then we're done.
That's great. And so when you get done,
anyway, but yes, back to the movie. It was an amazing thing, but I don't believe the studio quite understood it. And so what they did was they dumped it to an August release. Not a ton of press behind it. We did a bunch of press, but not a huge push. And it was a modest hit. It made $84 million at the box office. It wasn't a $100 million movie, which at that point was the benchmark for that's a successful comedy.
Really?
It became successful later on DVD and video on demand or just cable. About 5 years later, it became a pop culture phenomenon.
I remember being in a poker tournament when it came out, and everyone was like, and by the way, all these guys are from Missouri.
Oh my God.
Everyone was like, this is the greatest fucking movie I've ever seen.
That's funny.
And then I was like, really? So I went and watched it, and I was doubled over throughout that movie.
Yeah. Well, real comedy people get all of it. A lot of people were like, what? And they wouldn't get it until they saw it a second or third time.
Yeah.
And people still say, I watched it again the other day and there's stuff I'd missed.
Oh, entirely. I got to be dead honest with you. The most recent one, the second one was better than the first one, in my opinion, because I knew the characters. Here's the other thing is like, this is going to sound like not hearsay. It's going to sound like sacrilege. Mm-hmm. I never ever expected Steve Carell to be funny, meaning I knew that he was on the Daily Show, right, and in The Office. I didn't expect, so whenever he came into a movie and was absolutely hilarious, I never expected it. Like, and so it always caught me off guard and made him 10 times funnier to me. Like, I always saw him more as a serious guy and less as that goofy fucking.
He's incredible.
He really is.
He's incredible. He's laser focused and he can do fractional comedy. I mean, like, he'll hit something here and then go over there and you're like, wow, you're doing two things at once and you're so funny, and like everything you say is hilarious. He's super bright. And the I Love Lamp, I think, was his, and then he just kept doing it. Yeah, like, I love lamp. Like, that wasn't in the script. Yeah, he made it emotional and intellectual decision. I'm going to do it like this, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to add that. Yeah, and like if Brick's fear of bears. And then now there's fear of women's menstruation. They bring bears. Yeah. Like he linked all that. Like, how did that come out? Come on, Carell, where did this come from? He's just like divining things. So the day before you go into shoot, are you up at night rehearsing your lines with your wife, or do you? Oh, you can't rehearse with your wife. That's all I've ever rehearsed with. And she's so much better of an actor than me. Oh, well, but she's in the business. Oh, yeah. My wife would be more like, is that how you're going to do it? Oh, oh yeah. That's what my wife does. That's what my wife does. Yeah, that's why you don't rehearse with your wife. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Oh, my wife's like, stop. You're not listening. And I'm like, what? I can tell you're not listening. She's very critical of me. Yeah. Yes, that's why I don't rehearse with my wife. And so are you doing the scenes and then like thinking of punch up lines in your head going, I'm bringing the heat tomorrow? Also, but at the same time, for the first one, I was thinking like, we can't beat these lines. These are awesome. These are amazing. God. But I didn't realize, well, we got it. Trust the process. It's going to be fine. So when it came out and you didn't feel the pop until like a couple of years later? Let's see. No, I started getting work right away. Right after that, everyone. Because Will Ferrell's obviously hilarious. Yes. Everyone's funny in that. But like, I think, in my opinion, everyone's opinion, you and Steve Carell were almost like breakout stars in that. And obviously Will's hilarious in that movie. There's no question. But like, you guys were just such a like, almost like everything you said was a breath of fresh air, an extra laugh. Oh, you were only there for laughter. Like, that's such a great role to have, where you don't have to move anything forward. Yes, you're just there to laugh. Just a hit. Okay, great. Yeah, no fielding. Okay, just at bat. Great. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and you're going to tell me what the pitch is? Oh my God. What do you want? You want a single, double, or a bunt? Yes, exactly. That's fucking great. Yeah, it really was great. And so then everything started pouring in right after that? Yeah. I mean, I'd always worked, but certainly more movies than happened at that point. You got to there was a period of time when it wasn't an audition. It was just, Is that good or bad? Oh, it's great. That way you get to decide how you're going to play it. In my mind, oftentimes the thing when you don't get something is because you go in thinking, I'm hoping to do what they want. Yeah. When that is like, all you can do is what you're going to do. Then it's going to be, no, you're going to take what I have to give. Either you're going to take that or you're not. But if you're in wanting, it won't work. Yeah. You have to be like, here's how I'm doing it. Pretend you already have it. Yeah. Yeah. I think that my youth, when I succeeded, I came in going, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. And then I think when I
when there wasn't work for a year, you start going like, I need it, I want it. And then once I stopped caring again, I started working again. And now I don't care to the point I think it's a flaw. Like now I'm like I don't want it. Like I don't know if I enjoy acting, to be dead honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm supposed to want to act, but I really enjoy just stand up. I like making stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I think I'd probably enjoy being Adam McKay more than like Paul Rudd. You know?
Yeah.
I probably would enjoy being Will, like making my own projects like that, but I don't know.
The only downside there is you're out of town.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd like to do, like you're doing Superior Donuts now.
Well, I just got canceled.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. There's going to be something else.
Yeah.
I can't say it yet, but
there is. Oh, yeah. You're not just saying that. Hopefully.
No. Well, I would believe it anyway.
Yeah.
But then someone reached out, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
See, I'll tell you what I'd really enjoy. 4 camera sitcom on CBS Radford.
Yes, that's where I was.
Oh, yeah, I remember I saw you at Big Five.
Yes.
That's the best.
Right.
His house we were to Big
10
Five.
minutes.
Oh.
It's even closer to you.
I've already, and I wrote 2 projects. My special's coming out in August. Or I shouldn't say. My special's coming out in this fall. And everyone's like, you know, everyone seems to be responding very well to the special and the material. You know, what would you like to do? And I, you know, like a fucking idiot, like probably like you said in SNL, I was like, I don't want to do anything anyone else has. I want to make my own thing.
Right.
And everyone's like, okay. So I wrote 2 projects, but both of them are single camera. But that's just where the material was in my head.
Sure.
But I really want a 4 camera sitcom.
Well, it could be, and then it's up to them. It's like, well, could you think of this? Could you rework this as a multicam? Then you're like, yeah.
Oh, that would be the great. What pilot did you do that you're like, that should have gone?
Oh, well, I did one where I was the lead. That's the one you want. It was called Whitey. And it was kind of an updated version of All in the Family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would probably work now in today's climate.
Yeah.
Would have been more of the milieu, of the zeitgeist. But there was a conflicted production for a lot of different reasons, and so it wasn't never going to go. Oh, plus it was for the History Channel. They were starting to, they were going to try to develop a comedy block.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be into that.
Oh yeah, but they had nothing to pair it with. They developed 1.5 hour, not 2. It was like, well, you got to have 2. That's the only way you're going to start it. But it was conflicted production, so it wasn't going to go. What else? Chris Elliott pilot from years ago. I thought was good. Didn't go. I like that. I haven't done that many pilots, so I'm always
yeah. Oh yeah, I guess yeah. What about your kids when did you let them go see Anchorman 1 in the theaters?
Let's see.
They must have been really young at the time.
Well, Margot would have been too young. Charlie, he wouldn't have understood it. No, he would have been 5, I think.
When did they realize you were who you were? Well,
when we would go somewhere else and people kind of really start looking.
Yeah.
And then they go like, oh.
Did they ever ask you about it?
No, they just kind of knew that's what Dad does. But then when they start seeing other people's reaction to what Dad does, like, well, why is that? Like, I remember when Margot was like 10 or 11, if we'd be somewhere and she's like, Dad, those people are looking at you. You should probably go say something. I'm like, no, honey, that's not how it goes.
I had 2 run-ins. The first time when I did the first season of Bert the Conqueror Week, they picked me up at the airport. It was Father's Day. I think it was Father's Day. No, it wasn't. It was Sunday football. And we stopped at Magic Johnson's Chili's over on La Tierra. I think it's on La Tierra off of La Cienega. And it was all black dudes in the bar watching. And one black guy recognized me. And he's like, oh shit, is that Bert the Conqueror? Oh my God. And lost his shit. And then everyone kind of was like, oh yeah. And our premiere had been really big and they had played it a lot. And so they all wanted to get pictures with me. My daughters witnessed that. And then the manager came up, who was a black guy, and he comped our meal, and it was really nice. And like, my daughters put 2 and 2 together, and they're like, black people love Dad. so we would go to the mall, funny. And they'd point out black people, like, Dad, right over there, and I'd be like, stop,
don't point.
and then one night, I was putting them to bed. I sell shirts on the road. That's my face in Russian propaganda art, and it says I'm the machine in Russian, and they always wore them to bed. And one night I was putting them to bed, and I heard them talking, and I was like, "What's going on, guys?" And Georgia was like, "Dad, did you rob a train?"
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "Here's where it catches up." But yeah, I can't imagine that. It's always an interesting to watch a regular dude navigate that with his children's of like going like, listen, it's it's just gonna happen.
Yes.
You know, don't get used to it. You're not. I mean, I feel like you never would have raised your kids famous Hollywood kids.
Oh no. To me, if they take an acting class, it's because it's the same as a music class to me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we have an opportunity to expose them to the arts. Great. It's the same as baseball or soccer or football or basketball or volleyball. It's also, you're in an acting class, you're going to take a music class just to see what they dig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the scripts I wrote, my daughters all the scripts I wrote, my daughters are in it. And my youngest daughter's like, I get to play me, right? I'm like, nah.
Well, you can audition.
I'm not hanging out with my daughter all day.
I know.
I'd lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, it'd be tough. It would be tough.
Well, me, you, and Segura got to do a theater together one time.
I would love it.
I
know. Yes, you said.
I texted Segura and he's like, I'm fucking in. Let's do it.
Wow.
And he was like, let's do an off market that we wouldn't normally do, like Montana.
Oh, that's great.
He was like, let's go to Montana, like Bozeman or whatever, one of those markets. And I was like, I'm fucking in.
I'm in.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'll send a text to the three of us.
Okay. I love it.
We'll get it set up.
I love it. Yeah, I met Tom on an airplane. He was going to Tacoma. I was going to Seattle.
Yeah.
And he was heading on from there. I think that might be the first time we actually met or something. And one of those like, hey, I know you.
Yeah.
That's fun, though. I mean, I'm sure, now, too, when you run into people you don't know, they give you a look of like, oh, hey.
Oh, Norm Macdonald Norm Macdonald's probably my favorite, like, and Norm fucks around a lot, so you can't tell if he's being honest. Mm-hmm. But I walked into the back of the green room at this store, and he went, Bert Kreischer, I'm a huge fan.
Wow.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, is he or is he fucking with me? Like, but I'm a massive Norm fan,
right?
And so I was like, that made my day. To get
recognized by a guy you adore is the best.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna set that up, me, you, and Tom.
All right.
So I'm glad we did this. I'm really glad we did this.
Same.
Next thing you know, me and Tom are gonna be out in Montana having cocktails on the road. Oh, I'm already excited.
That's funny.
Server girl will be like, "Where's a good dinner spot?"
Oh, a nice steak.
He's the best to go. He's a fucking foodie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he's the best to go out, like, because he's like, I know this spot. They serve great waffles. Yeah.
So we'll go out and gain 10 pounds.
Yeah, and maybe we'll go out partying in LA one time.
Who ended up losing the most weight?
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
By how much?
By like, I think 7 pounds.
Oh.
Yeah, but he in all honesty, he can have the title because he literally did not drink an ounce of water for 2 days.
Water?
He didn't drink any fluids for 2 days.
Oh, that's not.
And went and saunaed and sweat out a regressive amount of weight. And I was like, oh, I didn't have that in me.
Yo.
Like, I literally was like, I won't eat, but I'm definitely going to drink water.
So he became a wrestler at that point.
Oh, and he was drinking mineral water so it doesn't stay in your system.
Oh, right. I've heard that.
He had a guy who was an MMA fighter kind of coach him through it. And so he dropped weight like he was training for a fight because the next day, the day of the final weigh-ins, we were all having cocktails and he was just drinking coconut water like it. He was sucking it up like a dry sponge. But yeah, he's done good with the weight loss. I ran that stupid fucking marathon and put on 10 pounds.
I don't know how you did that. You'd never run a marathon.
No.
And you had not trained.
No.
How did you do it?
Just deciding to do it. I think I have that. I joke about it being this Mickey Mantle gene, but I have this mentality of going, just decide you're going to do it. Like, it's the reason I had to stop going to CrossFit, because I don't have the brain where I go, I'm going to do this half-assed and I'm going to cheat. I go, I'm going to do this. If they say 10 burpees, I'm doing 10 burpees. And when I see the guy cheating, it angers me. And so I had to stop going to CrossFit because I was doing the workout that they put out and I was doing it as hard as I could and I was throwing up every day. And so every day I was throwing up in the parking lot and I was like, this isn't healthy for me.
Right.
I was like, I need to find like a middle. the setup of this workout is not healthy for me.
Right.
But yeah, I just decided, like, I just got out there and I was like, all right, this is where I'll be for the next 5 hours. I'm just going to keep moving forward.
That's amazing. And you had a good time.
I had a blast.
No, but I meant your time.
Oh yeah. 5 hours and 33 minutes. Not great. Oprah did it faster. I don't know how, but you can also run faster marathons. I'm doing another marathon. I think me and Ari are going to do one with this ultra marathoner and his fiance. We're going to try to do one in an exotic location like Buenos Aires.
Wow.
And really go. And I mean, one of the things that's beautiful about a marathon is you really take in a city and experience a city in a very primal, almost like aggressive, assaulty kind of way. Like there's parts of LA where I was like I never, like jogging down through Silver Lake is all downhill and it was awesome. It was beautiful. And you saw like little late night bars where you go, oh, I dipped into there before. And then you go run by the 101, run up Hollywood, and then you get to Sepulveda. That's where I'm like, I don't even like driving on this fucking street. And I'm jogging on Sepulveda. Fuck Sepulveda. So we're going to do Buenos Aires, and then I'm doing a triathlon in August.
Good Lord. Are you training now?
No training for the triathlon. I said the only training I'll do for the triathlon is treadmill, spin bike, pool. I'm not going to do open water, real bike, road.
Is it a half mile or a mile in the open water?
A half mile in the open water, 3 mile run, and a 12-mile bike ride. Very doable, actually.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah, I think
you're right.
And I'm going to train on or apparatuses for it, only because the one thing that I regret in not training for the LA Marathon is that the training would get you in shape so that when you did the marathon, you then would be in better shape.
Yes.
Like when I did the marathon, I just fucked my body up, and so I couldn't walk for like 4 days.
With the knees or hips?
Nothing worked.
Wow.
Nothing worked.
Wow.
Like everything was frozen and locked up. And I could not walk. Like to go to the bathroom, I couldn't sit down on the toilet. I couldn't get off the toilet.
Wow.
I had to get help to get off the toilet. I was eating like crazy for those 4 days. And so I was eating and I wasn't moving. I was burning 0 calories a day for like 4 days. And then when I started, and then you can't run again for like another month almost. So
everything hurts.
It really hurts. Like you go to run and your hips will just start hurting, or like out of nowhere, like my knee was like felt like it was blown out. So that's the only reason I trained for another marathon. And but I think the triathlon will be fun. I'm going to try to get into triathlons. I've always wanted to do triathlons.
Really?
Yeah.
I have zero desire. Yeah.
Did you play sports growing up?
Yeah, not to no result. I mean, I made the team, but I
made the team.
I'm in Tipton, Missouri.
Yeah.
So the competition's not amazing anyway, so everyone makes the team if you go out.
I do those Spartan races when they come around, or like the Tough Mudders. Those are fun.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, those are really fun. And I would do a half marathon any day of the week, no training, easy, and enjoy it, because a half marathon, it is a monumental challenge. 13 miles is a long way to run, but you're not blown out at the end, and you can have a few beers and relax, and it's a communal type setting. The LA Marathon, when you get done, it is like when you see soldiers coming back on boats and they hug their family and they walk away with their family and they don't talk to their troop buddies anymore. And they're like, guys, I got shit to take care of.
Right.
I got done that marathon and we walked. I barely could make it. After I crossed the finish line, all the adrenaline's gone, and I barely could walk up to Santa Monica over to our car. And in the car, my ass cheeks were seizing up.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know how I'm going to make it home. And
you had to drive?
No, my wife drove.
My wife
drove, and we pulled into Gelson's, and I was like, you need to get me a beer or something. Like, I need a beer. And she got me a tall boy, and I drank it from
a tall boy,
and I drank it before we got home. Then I got in the pool, and I just started putting back beers, like all right. And then I was fine. Man, the next day, I have never felt
It should have been water and bananas.
It should have been. There's a lot I did wrong in this.
Well, you needed it was your painkiller.
Yeah. It was a lot I did wrong in this. But yeah, if you want, next time Tom and I do a physical challenge, you're more than welcome to join us.
Oh boy! All right, but I won't do. I have no interest in doing a marathon or an Ironman.
Or about how about what if I'm trying to think. How are you with roller skating?
I don't roller skate, so I guess that would be good. Do you roller skate?
No, but the one challenge Tom and I had was if he could roller skate a marathon faster than I could run it.
Boy, see that? Yeah, but you're 10 years younger than me too.
Am I?
Oh yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, maybe more.
I thought we were the same age. I'm 45.
You're 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, so that makes a big difference.
God, you don't look 55.
Oh, thanks. The beard. Now I have a Kreischer beard, and you don't have any gray in there. Mine's
I got
half
some
white.
gray.
I have a new joke, which is, and I can only do it as long as I keep the beard. I went to the doctor the other day, and I don't know if this is any good. I'm going to tell it anyway. I got diagnosed with St. Nick's disease, and I have early onset Santa Clausism. So, because of the beard.
Yeah.
And I've been told I'll be putting on between 300 and 400 pounds in the next 6 months, and I have some magical powers. And right now I can tell in this room who's been naughty and nice. Just hack jokes. I don't care.
Oh, no.
You got to try your hacky jokes, whatever. Just if for nothing else, it's just in self-indulgence.
Dude, I wrote I love a joke that only I find funny.
Yeah.
Like the joke I had is like the favorite joke I wrote recently. It's just a joke is the Me Too movement made its way to Utah. The Mormons finally, they're using the hashtag Me5. But like, I don't write jokes like that. Like, they don't fit my act.
Right.
So like, I had a ton that in this last special, I had like these 2 jokes that I was like, they're funny, they're a little edgy, they would not fit in my act, but I wrote a story. I took one bit and I turned it into a story where it was a conversation where a guy wanted to hear jokes, and so I told him these jokes in that story, but the story starts with a joke, and so I was like, yeah, and so. But every now and then they come to you where you're like, that's a funny fucking joke.
Sometimes they come to you in the shower or somewhere else. Like, this is a whole piece. Okay, great. Yeah. And you're like, where's that divinity all the time?
Oh, I have a bit right now that is killing so hard that I love that I go, where are the rest of those? How come I can write that?
Why, then everything I do should be that good.
Yeah, and then I find myself I get too nifty in comedy. Like I get a little too wrap it up perfectly. And so I have to like almost, and I have an ability to sometimes, go a little, like if I enjoy the integrity of a bit, like I go, this is original, this is brand new. If I need to go hacky to win it at the end, like I go, all right, I'll allow myself that. Yes. I'll give myself the leniency for a little bit of a hack laugh if I believe in the integrity of the premise.
Right. You're like, okay, that's a little less than at the end, but they all seem to get it.
Yeah. And so right now I have 32 minutes that will definitely be my next special. But man, I am dead serious when I say it stops at 32 minutes. At 32 minutes, I look at the recorder every night and I go, so that's where it ends. And I can't. Everything else seems like it's not. There's nothing of integrity that's gonna carry me into the next hour.
Yeah.
No big stories. No like I feel like I need to live a life. I was trying to get these guys to take a boat from Buffalo to Detroit with me
on the lakes.
Yeah, and so that I'd have a story. Everything's about getting the story. I'm taking the girls to Mammoth this week. I want to need a story.
There's still snow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there is actually.
Wow.
And then we're going on a Carnival cruise. I need a bit. The only bit I've gotten is, and I can't use it only because it's too short. But we went swimming with dolphins in Hawaii, and the whole time I'm like, "Where's the bit? Where's the bit?" And immediately shows up, but it shows up and goes away so fast. It was the. It felt a lot like going to a strip club with my family because immediately the manager's like, ladies, we've got customers. No. And they all come back from the back, like all 4 of them, and they're all assigned to a person. They're like, and my daughters are like, can we touch them? And I go, I know the answer to that. And the guy's like, yeah, but don't put your fingers in their holes. And I'm like, oh, the bit's over. It's already up. It's up and over. And so, yeah. So hopefully I'll have a bit this weekend.
No, you'll gain one.
Hopefully I'll gain something.
Yeah.
And then the next Carnival cruise.
That should provide you some good elasticity.
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it, man. This has been fucking fantastic. Yep. You, I got to say,
yes,
you and Rob Riggles are the only 2 guys that I was like nervous to have in.
Really?
Yeah, but Rob, by the way, mentioned you in the podcast that I did with him. How he credited you in getting him into UCB. He met someone and someone said, David Koechner's got got some friends doing UCB. You were on SNL, and you called over, and they were like, "Oh yeah, of course, you can start taking classes."
Oh, that's nice. You always forget if you've ever done something.
Oh, he had nothing but fond things to say about you.
He's a great guy.
He's a really amazing guy.
He knew my wife before I did because he's from Kansas City.
Yeah,
and he went to the same high school. He was a couple years younger, but they knew each other.
Really,
it's so interesting how life works like that. And so he was in New York, and we all had dinner one night, and that's the first time I'd met him.
Yeah,
and,
he was a good interview because I don't think he knew what to expect coming in here, and I think part of him was like I think his publicist was like he can only stay for like right around an hour, and then I wrote back, I was like, if it's at an hour, my fans will think that we didn't get along. Like it needs to be over an hour for them to go, oh, this was a good one.
Right.
Like hour and a half is perfect for my fans. Go hour and a half, great. I can listen to the whole thing in one car ride. I can maybe chop it up on both my car rides. They would love the 5-hour ones, but
oh my god,
that's when drugs come out. And,
ooh, yeah, you had 5-hour ones?
Oh yeah, booze and
okay.
It's usually
so it's a party.
It's 4 people in here,
yeah,
and everyone's wasted, and so everyone's smoking weed, and you're saying things that are massively regrettable because about 2 hours in, you're like, no one's listening anymore, and you say it, and those are the ones that people drink up. But he came in.
It's interesting because they start hearing. Because we all see this. If you're not drinking, you know when your friend just crossed over.
Yeah.
They went from sober to you're now inebriated. So I'm sure when they're listening, they go, oh, he's drunk now. Oh, he's getting drunker.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he just got stoned. Now his entire personality has changed to this really almost, I would say, predictable channel.
Yeah.
That's got to be very interesting.
It's really fascinating. I did one with John Reap that was like, it was like 3.5 hours, 4 hours.
Wow.
And we were so drunk that like the quintessential point of it was at the beginning we had talked about the N-word and we had used the N-word as saying what we were talking about, and by the time Reap's drunk, he's just saying the N-word.
Oh my God.
And he's like, no, you know the word. I'm not gonna fucking say it. Like it just spiraled out, and everyone loved it.
Yeah.
Like because it's, I think there's a little bit of truth in those boozy.
Yeah. But there's also the idea of I'm not going to. The word is the word. It has no connection to me in what the other person's use of it.
Yeah.
The purity of like this is a word just like table.
Yeah.
And it takes away the awfulness of it.
I think so.
It's all intention.
It is entirely intention, and I think that entirely. I don't think that it's like Greg Fitzsimmons said to me one time, "Have you ever said the N-word?" And I said, "Whoa!" And he goes, "Don't lie to me." And I was like, "Yeah, obviously I've said it." And he goes,
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh God, what if she had said the N-word?
Wow.
What if she was like, "Oh wait, you mean?"
That was Alexa, just so you know, for no reason. This is the first time the entire. Oh, because you asked a question.
Oh, did I?
That's what it was.
Oh yeah. Oh. And then he goes, "There's a difference between saying it and using it."
Yes.
He goes, "I've never used it, but of course I've said it. Like I'm not I've sang it. To say that I've never said it is ridiculous because I've been listening to hip hop my whole fucking life,
right?
And I've been singing it nonstop.
Yeah.
And of course, but that's the big difference. But yeah, those boozy ones get fucking great. And my point was, Rob Riggle spoke very highly of you, and I was like, and I think he didn't know what was going to happen, and it was a really great podcast. We just talked about his military service, and which he's super proud of.
Oh yeah,
and
he should
really,
be.
and really enjoyed. And we got done, and he was like, "That was great."
Oh, good.
Why don't you have a podcast?
I don't have time.
Yeah, but it's like this.
I know,
like this.
I don't have time.
1 hour a night. This.
I know, but I got 5 kids.
This. Do one with your kids.
Oh my God. See, here's the thing. If I did a podcast, my wife would take it over.
You should do a family podcast. Family podcast where you like one night a week. The family.
Oh,
sits
just
down.
once a week.
Yeah, once a week.
Oh, you only do yours once. Okay.
I do 2 a week now.
I know, but then people go like, "Why aren't you bringing your family on the road? I want to see those people."
You had talked about doing a show for Travel Channel for a second.
Yes, you and I talked about that. Yes,
like a family road trip thing.
Yeah, and we did it, and it was terrible.
Really?
And I'm so glad it didn't happen.
Really?
I was against it. My wife was hell bent on doing it.
Really?
So I relented, and then it didn't turn out to be what I thought it was going to be, and all the promises that were made weren't kept. And I was like, "Thank God that's over."
Yeah, I can't work with my family. They make me crazy.
It wasn't them. It was the producers. I was not very happy with. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The producers of reality really do suck
They
sometimes.
tell you one thing, and then, okay, here's what's really going to happen. You're like, and it's no fun.
Yeah.
To bring the family out there, this is not a real vacation.
No, it's work.
Yeah, it's all work. And my wife really believed, like, we'll probably stay 3 days somewhere else. They're like, no. If you got this much time to produce the show, it's all spent doing the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to take our kids' summer away. They can't play sports. They can't hang out with their friends. They can't do anything else. We're going to be on the road doing this thing.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I would have given them part of the money and whatever, but they're going to sit down like mules after a week and go, I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh, yeah. My daughters and I, we did a scripted thing for scripts. It was and it ended up being very funny, but I'm a little bit of a micromanager, and my daughter's favorite parts of acting are outtakes. So all they did were outtakes. All they did were flub lines. All they did, and they thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was so angry by the end of the first day going, guys, we're going to be here all fucking day. Like, you got to wrap it up. Just say what we wrote. Say what we wrote. And then the one line that we used in it that is so much funnier is Isla came up with her safe word, which is motherfucker. And she's like, no one's going to say that to a kid, Dad. And I was like, that's going in the special.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a fucking home run. But yeah, I would be interested to see a family podcast or a podcast with you and your wife. Once a week.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work. What about the week you're not getting along?
Oh, those are the ones I want to listen to.
I'm sure that would be the best.
That's the one I want to listen to.
If you really do the honesty, and she says, here's what really bugged me about you this week. Or that would be.
Dude, and you talk about parenting, you could take over the parenting landscape. So the thing about podcasting is if you find Fighter and the Kid went into sports instead of humor, sports, and they own sports because they were the #1 sports podcast. And then that helped grow their fan base way beyond what just being in humor. If you did something like family matters with the Koechner family rules.
Okay, but then we would start relating stories about my children.
Yeah.
And then now they're not making the decision to be the subject of a very public address.
It's called My Last Special.
The thing is, that's not my trade, and then my business changes.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like, we want to see your whole family on the road doing the podcast. That's where the money would be, because you'd sell out 2 shows a night at a theater. But then what's going to happen is something magical is going to happen that first one, and you kind of say, hey, let's talk about that same subject, kids, and they're not going to have the professionalism to replicate what happened earlier, because it's all got to be just magic.
Yeah.
Or if you do take that on the road, they're going to be like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And so maybe one of the kids is, or I've got 5. There's no way they're all going to come do it.
5.
Yeah.
I could not do that.
I'm not sure I do.
Well, let you get out of here. I will talk to you all fucking day.
All right.
I'm going to text Segura. Oh, I just inhaled a whisker. I'm going to talk to Segura, and we're going to plan an
off-market theater.
And we won't talk to our agents about it. We'll just present it.
Wow.
Because once you bring your agents in, it becomes a fucking nightmare.
Okay.
I love my agents, but
yes.
I'll text the 3 of us and
Done.
we'll just do it.
I love it.
Awesome, man. Thank you for doing this.
You are a pleasure and a treasure. And folks, we're neighbors.
Yeah.
I think 1.25 miles is what Waze said.
Very runnable.
Yeah. That I could run.
Yeah.
That would be my only marathon, and I'd be pretty tired after that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Then I'd have to Uber back home.
That's what I'm doing for this marathon, is swimming at the pool, Ubering there.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you are doing that.
I think it's over by your house. Or if not marathon, the triathlon.
Yes.
The pool's over by your house, I think.
Well, is it an indoor pool?
Outdoor pool. I'll show you on the map.
Okay.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
You don't want to tell people where you're training ground.
No.
They'll show up with beers. All right. I love you.
I love you too.